Hello, dear beloved community. Well, we are here for our third ever Group Intention Tuesday. I have changed up the time today, partly that's because of schedules at my end, but also just to give people who are not early morning people an opportunity to jump on and join us. And I do hope we continue to see the great numbers showing up. I'm aware that it's kind of school pickup time for a lot of people if you're in Australia, and that there's school holidays still going on around the country, but of course we are beyond our needs here. We are moving into that space of sacred service, and we're here to see what we can offer, not what we can get. And I really love that. We're having the great privilege of getting to serve Alana today. Let me just move that thing so I can see you all better. Hey everybody, so good to see you. And of course, the way it works with Group Intention Tuesday, and I'm very open to your suggestions if you'd like another way to do this, is that on Monday at some point randomly in the day, I'll jump in and say, okay, we're going live on Tuesday at a certain time, and the first person who nominates themselves or someone in this group is going to be our recipient. Now, the reason that I don't want this to be kind of formal or like for you to submit and for me to assess based on need is because, as A Course in Miracles tells us, there is no order of difficulty in miracles. And so it really doesn't matter if you agree that the person who ends up being the person who receives is the highest person in terms of need or not, because that's really not the point of this experiment. What we're doing with Group Intention Tuesday is we're going beyond the idea of separation. So in truth, what we're doing is going beyond the belief that there's a giver and a receiver. And we're moving into the paradigm, which is that to give is to receive. And quite beautifully and poetically, Kim Fazzolari, one of my third level priestesses, and I had a conversation today on the Institute's page, which was about the idea of building sacred service into the foundation of your work. Because when you do that, you'll notice that everything in your life begins to succeed. And the prayer that I teach my third level priestesses and that I work with is, dear God, increase my power to serve. Now, in that statement, we're not saying, dear God, please bring me more stuff. Dear God, please make sure that all my needs are met. Dear God, please bring me a car and a house and a this and a that, and I need a boyfriend and blah, blah, blah. We're actually just saying, how can my life be of benefit to others? How can I put down my desires for myself and be in service to the others? And here's the beautiful paradox of that, of course, is that when you put down your yearning and your desires and your agenda with God, you make space for God to let the miracle into you. You actually create the conditions in which you can receive. So to give is to receive, and that's what our intention experiment is all about. So please don't worry if you're not the person who nominates yourself quickly enough on the day that post comes out. Be the person who shows up to give. Be the person who's like, oh my God, it's inconvenient. Ricky's chosen school pickup time. Oh my God, I got this going on. My husband needs me to do this, or this is going on. And use none of those excuses to prevent you to show up in service to someone else. Because let me tell you, that speaks volumes to the infinite. That is a far more powerful request than you turning up to God and being the first person to nominate and get to receive. So I hope this Group Intention Tuesday is beginning to help us change our minds about a few things. One of those, which is, in order to get what we need, we have to prioritize ourselves and be, completely focused on getting, and to switch to the more that I am willing to give, the more it's likely, because I'm in congruence to the law, that I'm going to receive. And the second part is that this work is not difficult, and it's not special, and it's not privileged, and only a few people can do it, and you have to wait until a healer blesses you and blah, 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 blah. But you actually can create the conditions for healing in somebody else's life just by gathering your consciousness with a few other people and giving an intention. And that's showing up in this work of giving with whether it's 8 people, as Lynn McTaggart suggests, or whether it's we've currently got, including me, 10 people here. Thank you for being here. You are showing up in service, and I'm so grateful. You're actually doing something so powerful. You're placing service at the center of your life. And I'm not surprised, I have to say, by the women who keep showing up, because you get this and I see you, and I really honor you for being here consistently. I did expect the numbers would drop over the weeks because, of course, it's not necessarily going to be convenient for everybody, but I will see if I can find a time that we can get the maximum number of people. We've had up to 30 people at a time join us, and it would be great to continue getting those sorts of numbers, because what we're doing then is we're changing the culture of this community, and we're changing the culture of spirituality as a whole. Spirituality as a whole, particularly in the world of spiritual entrepreneurship and the world of you know, the spiritual leaders that we're often looking towards right now, is definitely about the attainment of stuff for the self. It's a self-centric spirituality that is built on how you can make God your bitch and manipulate the universe to bring you the stuff that you need. And I'm very, very keen to move beyond that conversation. And I'm very keen to, yes, there's lots of amazing things that those particular spiritual leaders can bring us. But spiritual leadership is not about teaching me how to get more stuff for my little piece of the dream. Spiritual leadership, and each one of you here as spiritual leaders, is built on that mandate of service. How may I serve? How may I show up for something greater than my own needs being met? And then just paradoxically, my needs are met. And that's what we're doing here together today. So we're serving Alana. I'm not sure that Alana's here live. I know she has a little one, so it may not be a convenient time for her. But Alana's question so beautifully, or her request so beautifully, fits into what we're doing today. So Alana, as I'm going to paraphrase based on what I feel she was sharing in her request, was that she wants to be reminded at the deepest level of her soul that service is her medicine. Now that's language that we use in the third level. So if you're not part of the third level, let me just quickly let you know what that means. It's the idea that when we give, whatever it is we thought that we needed and whatever we thought our problem was, is often very quickly resolved, because to give is to receive. So the beauty of her request for us to intend for her today is very powerful. So what's a really clear way that we can intend that? So we want a clear statement of intention, because that's what we're going to be holding. Yeah. So we're going to be going, I'll take you through that heart coherent state, and then we're going to imagine that we're gathered together, and we're going to imagine that we're holding hands in that state. And then we're going to, if it works for you, repeat the mantra, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. As though this prayer is already answered. So the prayer is the clear intention. And the clear intention in this case is that Alana will not forget that service is her medicine. So another way that we could say that is that Alana, our intention is that Alana will always be moved by her desire to serve. And that is everything. So I'm very excited about going into this, because I feel like all of us get to have this experience now, and all of us will benefit from that. I mean, we always benefit, whether that intention is specific to us or not, but this one is pretty specific to all of these amazing women who've gathered with me today. So our clear intention to the infinite consciousness is that Alana's, excuse me, it's gone out of my head, that Alana's awareness is that service is her medicine. So the clear intention to infinite consciousness is that Alana knows that service is her medicine, and that doesn't alter or change. So the clear intention to infinite consciousness, to God, is that Alana always knows and remembers that service is her medicine. Okay. And yes, I am looking forward to hearing that one deep inside my soul as well. So I'm going to guide us through heart coherence, and I'll take us through the process. Remembering your job is not to try to fix or heal Alana. Your job is not to try and look into her energy field to see if there's, you know, something that you can identify and clear specifically for her. Your job is simply to respond as though this prayer has already been answered, and to hold that vibration in your field of that truth, that this prayer is already answered. This is already truth. We do not have to go looking for how this is going to happen. It's already done. It's a past time. It's in the history of Alana's life. She's already in the future, where this potential in the quantum field is real. Okay, let's go do the work, my darling sisters. I think it's just women here today. Taking a deep breath in, and if you're safe to do so, please close down your eyes. Letting that breath go out through the mouth with an audible sigh. Letting go of all the effort required to bring you to this point in your day. And with eyes closed and breath deepened, you're signifying to your physiology that you're very safe. And you can arrive even more powerfully into present time. Just letting yourself sink even more deeply into your seat. Feeling that sense of expansion that comes just by checking in, becoming conscious of the present moment. It's one of the powerful side effects of being in service. And now taking 2 fingers to the center of your chest. Letting your consciousness know that this is the space from which you choose to operate now. Your intuitive intelligence. And now spending a minute or two bringing your mind to focus on an image, a person, a place, a memory that evokes strong feelings of gratitude, appreciation, joy. And letting yourself really deepen into these feelings with laser-like precision, remembering that heart coherence is not meditation, it's not relaxation. And we bring our attention back to that feeling state again and again and again, and feel that effortless expansion. Feel your field around your heart, your electromagnetic field expanding now to reach beyond the dimensions of time and space. So that there is only one heart. Between us, there is only one state of being. We come into harmonic resonance with one another. And in so doing, we exponentially increase our power to serve. And you may imagine now that everyone who's here and everyone who will listen back later are holding hands. Feel that sense of connection as we feel our hearts open with deep compassion towards our sister Alana. And you may feel as though your heart chakra is growing beautiful long tendrils of love, of compassion reaching out towards her, not to heal or fix, but simply to allow her to receive your love. And knowing that that intention, that Alana's consciousness knows that service is her medicine at all times, is already done. The prayer is already answered. And we express our deep felt gratitude for this truth by perhaps repeating out loud or silently the words, "Thank you. Thank you. Thank you." We'll move into silence for a few minutes as we let this energy build. Keep bringing your attention back to this single point of focus. Don't wander off. Don't start thinking about your own stuff. Stay here with passionate focus, absolutely certain of the outcome for our sister. And feel that energy build, that deep compassion and love growing. with the certainty that the prayer is answered. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let that energy keep building, keep bringing your mind home to the work that we're doing right now. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And now surrender that prayer, that intention to a greater mind, to the God mind, knowing that it will be answered in accordance with Alana's highest good. And release all attachment, knowing with absolute certainty that the work is done. And now if you feel to, you may take your hands into prayer position and just bow your head in gratitude for the privilege, the right to be able to serve, to be free enough to be able to show up in service to another is the greatest privilege we have. And to thank the infinite unlimited consciousness of which we are all a part for participating in our request. When you're ready, taking your time, if you're enjoying that state of being, you don't need to hurry out of it. You can blink open your eyes and let yourself come back to the present moment, knowing that this work will only ever increase your personal energy because you're tuning into a much greater field through the field of the heart. So this work gives, it doesn't ever take. It's entirely impossible for you to feel depleted. What you may experience if you haven't slowed down and checked in today is that the first time you do that feels like you go, oh God, I'm so tired. But that's actually just because you've checked in with your body for the first time instead of ignoring it all day. And this work is truly divine, and it feels so gracious and generous, and I'd love to know your experience of it, what it feels like to be in that state of giving, that state of really receivership. We're hearing some beautiful things. Yes, so beautiful, says Melanie and Eileen. And that feeling is your true nature, by the way. And that's what it feels to live a heart-centric life, a service-centric life, rather than a self-centric life. And so if you are showing up to your spirituality and it's feeling a little bit like you're only trying to figure out how to get more of the stuff for you, that self-centric spirituality, then I would invite you to do, as Lynn says, get off of yourself and see what you might do in service to the other. And the ego is going to tell you that that's dangerous and there's only finite resources, and that if you do that, you're going to miss out and the other person's going to gain, and blah, 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 blah. And actually, none of that's true. You just got to shut that ego up, because that is the reality of being on this path of spirituality, is that unless it is a service-based, and I mean literally you're here in service, not a service-based business, then it's a flawed spirituality that's actually probably got less to do with God and infinite consciousness and more to do with the ego masquerading as spirituality. Jade says, peace and euphoria combined. Karen said, I felt the ascended masters. Shanae's just loving it. Emoji. I just got to scroll down so I can see some more. Join in the circle. Sam says, I feel so expansive and so very blessed. Beautiful. So I want to ask a question, and you can answer this by popping your name here if you like, or sending me a message. I would love to make this not just me leading this, because we have so many amazing spiritual leaders in this community, and I would love to see other people lead us into Communion Tuesday. So if that's something that excites you and you'd like to take your turn of leading us, please let me know, because it's certainly going to make it more enjoyable for me if it's not just me doing the leading. I love to see all of you shine, and anyone can jump in. There's really no wrong way to do it. What we're doing, however, is not healing, we're not fixing, we're simply holding, we're tuning into that potential. So we want to follow that plan, that idea. So I'm seeing some comments. Yes, Shanae says yes, awesome. So let me know, and what I might do is create a little roster for us, because I think that it's going to make it more sustainable. Katie says yes, absolutely. I'm taking Eileen's comment as a yes as well. She's not getting out of it. I think you're born to do it. Sam says, I'd love to. Amazing. Oh, awesome. Jackie says, I could see Alana in the center of us with the light radiating from her as the glorious goddess. And I'm assuming that says she is. I can't see the rest of it. Yes, it was very beautiful, and she was very present. So even though she's not live with us, I do not doubt for a second she's tuned in. I know how difficult it is for her to get online sometimes. But yeah, I'm really excited about the possibility of where we can go with this. I'm keen to keep it to just one group intention per Tuesday, because I do feel like otherwise we'll kind of divide ourselves up too much. But I would love to see other people jumping in and taking part. So yeah, I'm excited to see that. I'm going to make a little roster. If you would like to send me a message or self-nominate, please do. And that way we can actually all really step into this leadership of guiding us to meet our role in service and to see the benefits we gain. Because I think that your lives as the givers are changing as much as the receivers' lives are changing. And that's certainly the way it's meant to work. That is the law. So thank you, dear ones. Thank you for taking the time. It was a beautiful turnout. I honor you for being here. I know sometimes it's inconvenient, but you did not let that stop you. And that is what service is. I am service. I'm always ready to step in and be that, which is very different to martyrdom, of course, because all we're doing is letting God move through us. All right. Mwah. Have a beautiful day, and I will see you all very soon.